Alright guys, welcome back to the final installation of the Fantastic Four Dice Throne Homebrew How to Play kit from Josiah Wilkinson. This is the Thing, and the Thing is a 2 out of 6 complexity because he's a very simple character to learn. So let's get started. So let's say you activate Jab, you're dealing 6 damage to an opponent like so, and you're going to inflict them with Clobber. So Clobbered is a negative status effect, which basically means if they have this token on them, they take 2 damage or 1 damage when they activate an ability. So basically it works like this. Let's say we're going up against another Thing player and they activate Jab as well, but they only activate this where they have roll 4 fists. 1, 2, 3 is fist, 4, 5 is rock, and 6 is Fantastic Four, and they deal 5 damage. Well, they would take, if they did this, they would take 2 damage because they activated an ability that only had 4 dice. Because if you activate an ability with this status effect on you, you would take 2 damage from utilizing 4 or less dice for an attack, so 4 fists, or 1 isolated damage if they utilized 5 or more dice. So if they did 5 damage and they only used 4 dice to get this combination, they would take 2 damage. If they did the Jab with 5 symbols to deal 6 damage, they would only take 1. So essentially this is saying you gotta go all out. You can't use Battle Blitz, can't use 4 Jab or 3 Jab, and you can't use Small Straight or Rock and Roll. You can only use these 5, Jab for 5 and Large Straight or Ultimate, and even then you're taking 1 damage. And then of course for every unused roll attempt, they can remove Clobber. So how that would work is, let's say he's got 3 Clobbered on him. Now you're only taking 2 or 1 damage regardless, so Clobber's just on here to be a pain in the behind for the entire game. But let's say he only used 2 roll attempts. Well, since he only used 2 roll attempts, for that extra roll attempt, he can remove a Clobber. But let's say on the next turn he only uses 1 roll attempt to get that, he still takes his 2 damage, but he can remove 2 Clobbered because he only used 1, so he has 2 extra remaining, and per extra roll attempt that he didn't use, he can remove Clobbered. So Clobbered is very easy to remove if you get what you want on your first dice roll, but otherwise it's a struggle box. Alright, so that is Clobbered. Let's say let's say for Haymaker you get Embattled on your board. So what does Embattled do? So once per turn, a player with this token would take damage for an attack. They can spend this token. So let's say we're taking 7 damage from our attack. So let's roll our defensive, which is roll 4 first. We're taking 7 damage, and we rolled a 4, 5, 1, and 6. So for a 6, we deal 2 damage back. And we rolled a pair of rocks, so we can prevent 4 damage, so we're only taking, I believe, 3 damage, and we're dealing 2 back. But then we're going to spend our Embattled token since we're taking damage, and we can roll 1. And we roll 1. On a 2 or 4, we prevent 1. On a 5 or 6, we deal 2 damage back. You may spend an additional Embattled token to reroll this dice. We only have 1, so we can't do that. We rolled a 4, so we're going to prevent 1 damage. So we're only taking 2 damage. So Embattled just empowers your defensive ability, and of course you can spend an additional Embattled to reroll this dice once. So if you had 2 Embattled and you didn't want to do 4 and you wanted to go for a 5 or 6, you can spend another Embattled token to reroll. And you get a 6, so of course now you can deal 2 damage back to the attack. So yeah, that is Embattled. Alright, let's move on. Let's say we got Grim Charge from Battle Blitz. We gain 2 Embattled and 4 Grim Charge. And then inflict Clobber on all opponents. Alright, so what does Grim Charge do? So a player with these tokens may spend them to activate each effect once per turn. So we can spend 1 token to reroll 4 dice, or 2 tokens to roll 4 and add 2 per rock. So let's say that we're on our offensive roll phase, and we're trying to get a small straight. So 3, 2, 5, So let's say we're trying to get our large straight. Let's spend this right here so we can roll up to 4 dice one more time. And we didn't get it. But yeah, so we activate our small straight with 2, 3, 4, gain 1 Grim Charge. We got a Grim Charge back with this ability, and we're dealing 7 damage. But we can spend 2 Grim Charge tokens to roll 4 dice. And we're looking for rocks. We rolled 2 rocks, 2 5s, 2 rocks. So we add 2 damage per rock rolled. So we rolled 2 rocks, so that's plus 4 to 7. So now we're dealing 11 damage to our opponent. So they deal 3 back to us with their offensive, but we deal 11 damage back to them. So Grim Charge is very useful. It's a very powerful attack modifier token. Alright, so the final ability is Rock Hard, and this one's going to be a little bit harder to understand, but let's say our opponent is infected with Rock Hard and they're an enemy thing doing attack damage to us in a mirror battle. Let's say they roll. Alright, so this roll for Rock Hard, their highest dice, they can't re-roll the entire roll attempt. So they have to keep this 6 no matter what. So they can't re-roll that. So they can go through their entire roll attempt, but they have to keep this 6, and they'll remove Rock Hard at the end of the game. So they cannot re-roll their highest dice value if they have Rock Hard. And if they have 2 Rock Hards on them, then they have to keep their 2 highest dice values from their first roll attempt. So Rock Hard just makes it harder for them to inflict an attack. Unfortunately, they got Clobber because they rolled 2 6s and the rest of them were fists, but that would mean that they would afflict us with 2 Clobbered, they would get Rock Hard, and they would deal 8 damage back to us. So Rock Hard didn't do that much this time, but you can kind of see, like, if they had 2 Rock Hards on them and they rolled this dice pair, they'd have to keep the 2 6s. And they would have to re-roll these 3 and hope to get something. In that case, they got their mini ultimate, and they would try and get their ultimate. Didn't work, but they got their mini ultimate. So Rock Hard's not that great of a token, honestly, because you kind of want to roll for 6s anyway, so I don't know why you'd want to do that, but it's there as a token. So the thing is all about getting his tokens and using them just like the other Fantastic Four. Grim Charge, reroll 4 dice if you need it, if you roll terribly. Spend 2 tokens to roll 4 and add 2 per rock rolled. In battled, you roll a dice on your defense when getting damage from an attack, so you can prevent 1, deal 2 damage to the attacker if it's 5 or 6, and you can spend an additional battle to reroll once. Clobbered, if they have Clobbered on them, they can take 2 damage if they utilize an attack that takes 4 less dice to activate, or 1 isolated damage if they use 5 or more dice to activate an ability. And of course, if they don't take any of their offensive roll faces, like they only use 2 instead of 3, they can remove a Clobber token. So yeah, that is the thing. I think he's the easiest to play out of the 4, but let me know. Like if you like. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. Subscribe down below if you want to see more content, and comment down below which of the Fantastic Four that we went over would you go through. My personal favorite is Mr. Fantastic, but I also do think that Human Torch is a pretty good option as well if you're going on the offensive. The Thing is a pretty good option as well. I think Invisible Woman's kind of the least out of the 4, mostly because her extra ability is not that great. But also, and I'll see you guys with the next.